Before we begin, thank you very much to Benjamin F. for joining the Patreon campaign. As always, thank you so much for the help, for the support. Appreciate all of you for doing so. A quick reminder, we're almost at the very end of the month, which means it's going to be time for the next Q&A video, which I believe, yep, it's on a Tuesday, so it's completely unobstructed by the news roundup. So, if you've got anything you want to ask, Transformer or otherwise, go to my previous Q&A video for the month of June and leave me a question there for the month of July, which will be coming up on the 1st. So get it in quick because you're almost out of time for the month, and thank you for doing so. It's extra content I get to do, and you guys ask some weird things that I get to answer. Alright, so we've done a video like this before. We went to eBay once upon a time to see how much people were asking for the most rough, broken, and just misshapen, decolored, misformed Transformers that you could possibly find, and people still expecting them to sell. Well, today we are looking at what happens beyond the finish line. We're kind of looking at we're kind of doing the same thing here, but the difference here is these have all sold. And now, of course, there's many reasons why these things have sold. We'll go over it as the video goes on, but keep in mind, everything that I show you in this video, all the toys, no matter what condition you see them in, have actually sold. All right? So that's the key difference here. We look at Skylinks here, for instance, and he's had an unfortunate time. He's completely missing the space shuttle form. And he is missing at least one leg that we can see. I presume he still has one of the other back legs because he can still stand up. So here's the game. I'm going to go ahead and show you the condition of the toy, and then you at home will guess exactly how much you think someone got for it. So, for example, Skylinks is not too broken compared to others you're going to see, but he ultimately went for, well, a best offer. So we can assume somewhere below the range of like $60, so somewhere between 40 and 60, I would assume. And this is mostly because the electronics and the motors still work. So that's often a burned out part on a motorized figure from so long ago. So it's kind of obvious why that one would sell even in its busted condition. But that's a light one. That's a softball. Let's see what else we got. We have a G1 hot rod that is unfortunately missing about everything that makes him a robot. So this is a pretty common breakpoint because the transformation scheme on him is kind of involved for G1. And there are some pretty small like hinges that operate here. Not too surprising that he would end up broken like this. Hot rod here, without torso, without head, and without any weapons or stickers, actually managed to sell for, okay, 15 bucks. Okay, not bad, not bad. And if we look, we see the reason why. It is a rubber tire version of the toy and with the die-cast feet, which means you can recondition and upgrade even the one that was all plastic to be the original die-cast rubber wheel release. So a lot of times, broken stuff will sell just because the rubber is still intact and people are trying to do repair jobs. Understandable. All right, so we get that one. We get that one. To let you know, this listing comes up as Bumblejumper. So even though we've officially named him Bumper and we acknowledge that he's neither Bumblebee nor Cliffjumper, that is still the popular vernacular on eBay. We bring him up because this is a bit of a surprise. He's missing one leg, and it is just his right leg. So sans right leg, a Bumblejumper on eBay will get you 55 bucks. Now, of course, this is a very rare toy, so again, intact wheels, or maybe you're missing the left leg and you need the left leg off of this one. So understandable. But keep in mind, when I do go through things and do things like this, it's not exactly one off. Here's another Bumblejumper with the exact same brake, no less. You want to take a wild guess? Okay, you're guessing 55 again because you just saw 55. But what if I told you 75? And then $5 for shipping. $80 for a broken Transformer. People looking to upgrade. People looking to rebuild. It's unfortunate that those two listings had the same break. Otherwise, I would have been convinced the same person bought both in order to meld them together, right? I kind of wish it was that case, but we'll take what we got. Next up, a Bristleback that has suffered from GPS. Well, that'll happen to some of those old toys. Now, this one's going to be pretty easy, guys. He doesn't... Okay, so there's no shell. So he's shellless. He's got massive permanent breaks to the front of his legs, but he still sells for about $30. And you can guess why when you look at the listing. It still has the weapon accessory. A lot of times, those weapons alone can be worth more than the broken figure, so that actually makes a whole lot of sense. Especially if you're just that one piece short of your Monstructor, $30 at that point is going to be nothing if it means completing such a, hard to get set. So, understandable on that one. Next up, so it's a pretty common thing to find headless headmasters on this list, but when it's topless headmasters who also do not have a head, that's a little bit of an extra mile to jump, isn't it? Yeah, poor Siren here, missing a lot more than a headmaster's usually missing, and because of that, he's netting a grand total of $11, and that price had to get cut down in order for it to actually move. Again, it's a repair job most likely, though he doesn't have rubber wheels in this case. So this might be someone who's looking to recondition their own, or maybe there's broken a different spot. Presumably that's what happened. Or they might just be looking to piece it back together, which is going to be hard because there's definitely permanent damage there, but well, we'll see. Well, I guess we won't. Who knows who got it? Next up. All right, Ultra Magnus. Not so ultra here. Minus ultra, I would say. Missing his entirety of the arms, missing the belt, missing the chest, missing the cap, missing one of the panels on his legs, not to mention every accessory. It is a shell of its former self, very literally. And this went for, we don't know, but at least $11 in shipping. So we're guessing somewhere between 15 and 20, right? And, okay, now, Magnus, because of how he's constructed, there's a lot of thin parts to Ultra Magnus, so, yeah, this person might literally have just needed that one tailgate in the back. That literally might be the only thing of interest in that entire set. I've got a G1 Ultra Magnus in this store that is incomplete, and I am too, looking for just the right load of parts in order to complete it and put it out for sale. That's kind of how the game runs. So I'm assuming this person was either after the wheels or after that little gate. Next up, well, this is a pretty common one to see. I still remember when I reviewed G1 Mirage, everyone freaked out in the comments. I can't believe you actually got through that without breaking it. I had no idea how fragile this toy was in its central section. The pin that holds it together at the waist point is very thin, and it's metal on plastic, which makes it very prone to breakage. We've enhanced this one by also breaking off the tail, and we've also broken the front end off as well. This is a really miserable condition Mirage, and he goes for a grand total of $16. Yeah, kind of surprising there, right? And again, I presume it's because the wheels seem to be intact. So someone looking to recondition theirs and put the someone whose wheels have split, either because of sun damage or just too much exposure in general. So that's the only thing of value I see here, because literally every common place this toy has of breaking has broken on this one. But yeah, I guess it's just the wheels are that valuable. Poor thrust. Again, there is no real mystery to this one. He's missing his wings, and looks like he's missing his arms too, because it doesn't look like there's anything filling those gaps in the side. But we don't have to have any guessing games to this one. It's got tail fins, it's got launchers, it's got at least one unbroken missile, and it's got the landing gear, which is the easiest piece to lose. So no surprise this one was bought for the spare parts that come with it. And $37 to get those parts if you've got a bare bones thrust. This is actually a pretty good, this is a pretty good bit of progress toward a complete one. That honestly, yeah, that's actually not bad. I think that's actually kind of fair. All right, next up, So once again, we have to assume this is going for accessories or just small parts that need to be rebuilt. Optimus Prime's trailer currently missing all of its outside except for the base. The repair arm needs repair, frankly. You might be able to salvage the wheels. You might be able to salvage those silver arms, the work arms from like the actual like drone section. If that is important to you, or maybe the spring gimmick in the middle still works. Don't know. But if it is worth it to you, it could be worth $19. If that is, if that is in so you need. Oh, look, one of the repair arms is broken too. Okay, so my guess here is that either they needed, either they needed okay, the other part they mentioned is like there's tabs in here that are actually unbroken, so it could be possible that they have a complete trailer, except there's some broken tabs, so they just need the base to repair the whole thing. Okay, that's viable. I can actually see that. Let's move into some more familiar territory. A poor busted up Datsun. Remember, everything in this video is a sold listing on eBay. So somebody bought this. Somebody wanted this. This pretty much has every common bit of damage that is possible for this mold. The hood, the top is gone. The rear windshields are gone. The rear, one of the rear tires is gone. The whole wheel is gone, not just the tire. This is in really lousy shape. This is in what I would call unsalvageable shape. But someone wanted a piece of it for something. So what did they want for it? Okay, less than $10. Less than $10. And again, it might just be the wheels. It might just been someone with like one wheel that has split, and he's just hoping to be able to get one of these off without splitting another one. So to someone, this might be 3 chances at repairing their figure, which I think is fair to put $10 worth of value on. Yeah, I mean, you spend more taking a chance on 2 packs of Pokemon cards these days. But that's fair. That's fair. I don't think that's too bad, if that's, because it's literally the only thing I think is left that's not broken on this one. All right, my boy Trailbreaker has seen better days. Rough shape, missing its head, missing its hands, all accessories. Everything else in generally rough shape. Lots of chrome wear on it. Lots of sticker wear. Again, this might be a tire thing, or it might be the fact that some of his parts on the clear plastic are not broken. Because admittedly, clear plastic in the 80s lasted a lot better than a lot of the stuff in the 2000s. If we want it, you'll get $10 shipped. All right, so that, yeah, for a quick little repair job, if there's something on here that's salvageable, yeah, you can do worse. You can do worse. Probably again just the tires. I think that's the common thread a lot of this has. Okay, so poor Sludge here. Now the only real thing that's missing off of him, apparently, are the wings that make up the bulk of his beast mode shell. Now I will say, I had another Sludge that was actually on this list before, and all it was missing was its head. So if this could very well be a case of a buyer getting both of these broken sludges, and specifically meaning to Frankenstein them together into one functioning intact sludge, which is a perfectly viable strategy. And if that's what happened, well, good on you. That's a clever way of doing it. It cost them about $18. About $18 to get this busted up boy. And if they went to get that one that had no beast mode head, that's fair. You could actually net together a pretty valuable sludge from the two if everything else is intact. So that's one way of doing it. Megatron. Now, admittedly, I think the only thing broken on this one is just the arm. He doesn't look in great shape in general, but I do think it's just the arm that's missing. But it's just exacerbated by the fact that the seller just did not know how to transform this into anything that looked remotely close to his robot mode. G1 Megatron's actually pretty complicated, so don't really fault them on this one. But yeah, there's plenty salvageable here if you actually need the repair work. And that's going to get you $100. $100 for a broken arm Megatron. All right. So yeah, this is again a case of it's one piece away from being a functional figure. It's still missing a lot of accessory bits, but for the most part, it's all there. You know, if you just want a functional Megatron on your shelf, all you have to do is wait for an arm to come by. You know, that's actually not too undoable. Especially because there's a lot of points where this could be broken. I think the legs break off on this one pretty easily too because of how small the hinges are. All right. We were looking back at Smokescreen with very similar damage, but now it's the Jazz that caught my eye. Oh my god. It's a fascinating thing to realize just how different the yellowing can affect certain plastics. You can see here where, you know, like his painted translucent is fine. His die cast in the chest is fine. It's a lot of that ABS attachment parts that did not survive time very well, but the rear section did. The rear section did too. It's a mess of a Jazz. It's an absolute mess of a Jazz. Again, no points for figuring out why this lot sold. Tires, yes, but also actual accessories. A launcher is here. A missile is here, which is very important. And the chrome on the missile and the gun actually look really, really nice. So that's pretty much the only thing salvageable out of the lot. And they probably got it for around $30, all things considered. Yeah, I don't know what you do with the figures. Chuck them at this point. I don't think there's anything left you can get out of them. Just take the weapons and run. Here's an interesting thing. So a lot of times these broken figures are sold specifically because people want individual parts, but the parts get sold by themselves as well. And this one occurred to me because not only is a part broken off from G1 Scorponok, but the part itself is not in great shape. The tail has obviously taken a lot of sun damage. It's completely off color. And you can see the original purple kind of struggling to survive in there. It looks, strangely enough, it looks more like the one from the Micromasters commercial, like that weird red Scorponok they made as like the animation villain in that commercial. We gotta talk about the commercials someday because there's some weird stuff in them. But yeah, the tail alone, $18 for what seems to be an already broken and sun damaged tail. I'm assuming those hinge pieces in the back are what the buyer actually wanted out of the whole thing. Unless you are doing a custom of that particular Scorponok. I guess that's a head start on it. All right. This is probably one of the worst condition toys I have ever seen on eBay. It is a G1 Swoop that is missing almost literally everything. He is missing the head. He is missing the tips of the wings. He is missing his arms, his torso, he's got his lower legs, but no feet. This is the saddest condition Swoop I have ever seen. But someone wanted it. Someone paid money for it. What did they want for it? Less than $10. Priced accordingly, I would say that. Literally the only thing I can think of is if your Swoop's head broke off, and just the robot head, not the Pteranodon head that's usually attached to it. Maybe. Or ironically enough, the chrome's in good shape. If you want to like recondition the chrome on yours, this is not a bad option. But man, it's just in such rough shape. Oh my god. It's not even a figure at this point. It's nothing. It's a panel. It's a chrome panel with Swoop's head on it. I could leave it there, but then again, I don't think it would be one of these lists without including a Jetfire, because it seems like Jetfire is always one that's in incredibly bad shape, and this one's no exception. No arms, missing an antenna. Very, very yellowed. No parts, missing a tail fin on the leg. No canopy. And I include this one because I literally do not see anything on this toy that is salvageable. I do not know what anyone would want this particular version of Jetfire for. What on this thing is actually valuable enough to sell in this condition? Is your right antenna broken and you need just the right antenna? I don't know. This is a mystery to me. I don't know how it went for almost $40 for this. Oh my god. I have no idea. Like, that's why it ends the video. It's the price alone. Like, oh my god, why is it so expensive for that? But you know, these are mysteries for another time. These are mysteries one should not ponder because we will never know the answers. Just know this is what people paid for. So, if you got things to sell, don't fear, don't worry. No matter what condition it is, someone out there might actually want it. List it with pride, for you are willing to sell anything. So, thank you guys for joining me. I hope this was educational for you, or at the very least, interesting. It's interesting to me, anyway. Thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all later.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.